All right, so prayer is important and meditation is important, but then prayer and action, that's doing the things. The things are like the gym, the studying, the sauna, the being honest, all of these things, man, it builds you up. It's real love for yourself. People say they love themselves, but they drink alcohol. Like, that's poison. You're paying to poison yourself. Life is about relationships. It's about integrity, and the most valuable asset that you will ever have is looking at yourself in the mirror at the end of the night and being happy with who you are.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I got a really good friend of mine with me today, somebody who I've looked up to and respected for quite some time now, Mr. Mike Rashid. How you doing, man?
What's up, brother? Good,
Cool,
man. Thanks for having me on.
Always good to have you back, man. If
Yes,
you guys
sir.
are tuning in, you probably saw the first interview we did, 2023, I think. And 2023 it was for sure, and it was a good interview for sure.
Yeah,
I
dope.
enjoyed it, and I know everybody watching, they tuned in, enjoyed it as well. So I'm just
Right.
happy that you're willing to jump back in, man. Some things have changed since I last saw you. Family is growing. I have my son now, and you text
That's
me.
a wonderful thing, bro.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And you text me, congratulations. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You having both boy and girl, what is the difference that you see between your son and your daughter, just as far as like almost like biology, like how they are? Because I see differences. My son's only one,
Right.
and I see differences already.
I have two daughters. The difference is, it's just like you got to be more delicate with the girls, you know. The intensity of love is not different, right? But the method in which you apply it is going to be different. So with my son, you know, he's now 19. And he's a fine young man. Like, I'm very proud of him thus far. And, you know, you never want to stifle your child's creativity in their mind, right? You want to see that little spark that they have and fan it so it grows robust, right? So it's like driving in traffic, like, slow down, speed up, slow down. You know, it's a dance. It's dynamic, you know, and it makes you grow up like every day.
Right.
I'm constantly having to qualify myself to be his father, because the dude got a high power mind, you
Right.
know. So I gotta always be on point. And what I mean by that, like, not one time in my children's life have I ever said to them, "because I said so." Right. So they have the confidence to question me if something doesn't make sense. Right. And if they question me, I better be I better be right and exact,
Right.
providing them with the right answer.
Right.
I don't do the "because I said so," because I'm your father.
Yeah.
No. If I do that, if that's the fly, that'll fly for anybody. Anybody with a so-called position of authority can just tell them whatever and they submit. Like, nah, we don't. That's
Right.
not my bloodline.
Right.
You know. So if they could question me, they're gonna question anybody.
Exactly.
So what I'm most proud of thus far is none of my kids are pushovers. My daughter, me and her, she 9. I gotta negotiate with her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love it though.
Yeah.
But they're dope. But it is different though. With
Yeah.
the boy, you know, it's a lot of responsibility on him. So, you know, he gets a lot of attention. The girls too. You know, it's just a lot. It's dope. It's
Yeah,
fun.
it's different,
Like, I
man.
can't see my life without kids.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, once you have kids, man, you can't. I mean, you don't even want to think of your life without them. But it's
Yeah.
hard to even. My buddy actually came over last night. That's crazy you said that. And him and his girlfriend came over. They don't have kids yet, and we have 3 running around.
Right.
And he just looking at me because me and him like go back, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Man, it's crazy seeing you with 3 kids. Like, can you
Right.
even imagine your life without them?" And I said, "I really can't, man."
It's not like,
You know
what
I'm
is
saying?
it? What are we here for?
Right.
Like, literally, what are we here for?
Right.
We're here to procreate. This is the natural order of life, of things. So, look, I'm here, we utilize the resources of the earth, water, oxygen, food, plants. So we got to replenish and put back, and we got to keep this cycle of life going. That's just the natural order of things. That's the godly thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, 100%, man. One thing I wanted to ask you about, because me and my dad, and I don't know if I told you the story about my dad. My dad's home now, but he was incarcerated for 24 years.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that he's home now. We have a good relationship, and we're making content together now more
that's
often, which
dope.
is cool because
That's
now
fire.
you know what I'm saying. Like we get to
Yes,
we
sir.
get to share, ideas and opinions. Me as an adult now. And so it's fun. But one thing, we had conflicting opinions on this one situation. I want to get your take on it because I think those will help for the young men watching. I want you to help me break down when is the right time for a man to get violent and when you just got to learn how to walk away and de-escalate, right? So the long story short of this situation was me and my buddy actually that came over last night. Maybe this is like 12 years ago. We go to this skate park. It was on Fairfax, it's in LA. It was a DGK skate park. And we went in there and we'd always, go say what up to the homie Marshall that worked in there. And he let us go and skate in the back. It was a cool time, right? Fairfax, you ain't parking anywhere close to where you're actually trying to go. You got to park down the street and then walk because it's just busy. So we brought our homegirl with us, Alexis. So we had another person with us who was female. And we went, same thing, just went to go skate, hang out. We're having a good time. Now this black dude walks in. He comes to the skate park. So now it's only us 4 total in the skate park. It's me and my homies and then this dude. And he was cool. He didn't really seem like he wanted to talk, but he just kind of nodded and that was it. That's cool. And he got mad at my homie Ant after he fell. So here's what kicked it off though, because everything was cool until the dude, he tried a trick on the rail and he fell. And I don't know if it was because he was embarrassed my homegirl was there and he was embarrassed that he fell in front of her or what happened, or if the fact that my homie was Mexican. I don't know what happened, what triggered him, but he fell and he got up and then pressed my homie. And that's when I found out he was a Crip, just the way he was talking. And then my homie had a white shirt on with some red ink, and he's like, nah, you got to take that shirt off, throw it out the gate, right? So he's punking him, right? And so my dad, in that situation, he's like, nah, bro, you're supposed to come out of nowhere and freaking send his neck that way. You're supposed to do this, whatever. And I said, man, I get it. And I definitely have that in me. You already know my track record. I've been in plenty of fights. But that didn't seem like the time to fight. For one, we don't have home court advantage. Like I have family out in LA, but I'm not from LA like that. I'm not about to, I don't have connections like that. This dude, obviously a gang member, I don't know where his people are at, whatever. So that's number one. Number two, we have a girl with us. So if we have to go and dip, she's on foot. We're on it. We're going to be faster than her, whether we're skating or we're running. And our car is not right down the street. Like we got to go and we got to get to the car. So I was naming all these things. He's like, nah, like you're supposed to do this, that, and whatever. So we disagreed. What do you think, in your opinion, is an appropriate time for a man to resort to violence?
All right, so question. How did that situation resolve?
The dude just left after that. He pressed him. He made him throw the shirt out the gate.
Oh, he did.
And then he left because it was like a little gate, right? So he threw it, and on the other side of the gate was a back alley. And then the dude just left, right? And then my homie, we're just kind of looking at each other like, yo, what just happened? And then my friend was like, man, I gotta go get my shirt. I was like, hold on, bro, just wait, just wait.
See, my thing is this: never be the aggressor. But if somebody's pressing you, you tear that ass up, especially if you feel like you're potentially going to get attacked or you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to be a victim. So I'll let a person can talk. They can say what they want to say, you know. Words is not going to move me. But if you're in my physical space or if you're saying the right things the right way and kind of moving towards me, I'm going to take that serious. And I'm going to make sure the situation doesn't go any further from you. So I would say, like, you know, if you feel like you're under or going to be under attack, stop it. Do something about it, you know? It's best to not be in those kind of situations or places where that's a possibility. Right. That's ideal. But if it's in the moment, it doesn't sound like that was a situation that dude was really trying to do anything. You know what I mean? Because nothing happened. Yeah,
but that's what I told my dad though. I was like, he didn't do anything though. He didn't like push him, whatever. My dad was like,
different rules though.
Exactly.
And he got different training.
Right.
He been in gladiator school for 24 years. So that's is go on site like immediately. You have to where he's from. So you got to understand context matters and who's you know what I'm saying. It all matters.
Yeah.
But I think you probably did the right thing though. You know, because what if it escalated to some street stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
And for what?
Yeah, because I was telling him, I was like, it's, you know, even if we removed my homegirl there, which was probably the biggest factor in my mind. I was like, I'm not trying to, you know, we can run, we can get out of the way, but she in flip flops, whatever, we park whatever down the street. So, but then also too, the dude came in. It wasn't like a full on backpack, but it was like one of those like you put over your shoulder, whatever. One of those. He came in and he put his bag down. Then he took his shirt off and he just went to go skating. I'm telling my dad, I'm like, I don't know what's in the bag, bro. Right. Like I'm not, you know what I'm saying. And then we end up, me and him are essentially we're jumping him. We're not fighting fair. He's not about to fight fair. He's gonna go grab whatever he has on him.
That's okay. I don't believe in a fair fight. All's fair in war, you know? So if it's going down, listen, if me and you are out somewhere and you get into it with somebody, it's not going to be a fair fight. We getting into it with somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it later, who's right or wrong. But
That's what he said.
we that's one thing I'm with that, though. You know, it's funny, a story. One time when I was young, my cousin get in a fight. He dusts the dude off. We come back, we run back to the house. And my mom like, what happened? And I was like, his name's Sugar Bear. I was like, Sugar Bear got in a fight. She's like, what you do? I was like, nothing, he won. She was like, so? I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, there's no fair fights.
Right.
You trying to hurt one of my people? Yeah.
And I happen to be there, it's over with.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
I feel
it's
it.
a wrap.
So about that, so that's more like the physical aspect.
Yeah.
But now on the emotional side, mental side, you just through content, and I see how you interact with certain people. You're one of the strongest people I see, at least online. As far as like you just said, you're not going to trigger me emotionally with some words. You know what I'm saying it's physical. That's different. And so one episode I saw you on your show. I can't remember the dude's name, but it was about you guys were debating about Kanye West, right? And this dude was talking about he didn't like Kanye because what he says and whatever. And then when I was watching it, it was an interesting episode to watch because I was literally watching you, Logic, and then this person, Emotional, and I got to see like what that's like to kind of.
You know what's fascinating about that?
Yeah.
He was admitting like, no, it's an emotional thing.
Right.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
What's interesting, bro, is like we don't all play with the same rules. I would love for everybody to play with the rules of logic, of what makes sense, right? Because people be tethered to their feelings and beliefs, right? And that's never the right thing. An emotional decision is never the right thing. You should always make a rational, practical decision, right? Good or bad. Because here's the thing. It's very dangerous. All right, so you have cognitive dissonance and you have cognitive biases. It's all under the same umbrella, right? When somebody has a bias, there's nothing you can tell them, right? And for everybody listening, if you have your own biases about things, nobody can tell you nothing. And that's dangerous because 10 times out of 10, your beliefs are not tethered to facts. It's impossible for them to be tethered to facts because if you knew it as a fact, you wouldn't need to believe it, right? To believe something is to attach yourself to a notion or an idea without really fully knowing. It's like you want that to be an affirmation, right? But you really don't know. So you believe it. That's the nature of a belief. So when you believe something, you really don't know. That's why I always say I'm not a man of belief. I don't believe anything. I know or I don't know. And I'm not too arrogant to act like I know everything. I don't.
Right.
There's certain things I just don't know. I don't understand. And I'll say that instead of saying, well, I believe it's this.
Right.
That's like a bad word
right.
in my circle.
Yeah.
Belief.
Yeah.
And that guy was okay with the beliefs and
right.
my feelings and my emotions.
Right.
And listen, I don't want people to get it twisted. I'm a very emotional person, right? But the fact that I manage it properly, I think that I have a deeper emotional experience with things because it's not reckless.
Yeah.
It's not emotional outbursts, right? So, and it's interesting because people will try to like weaponize emotions.
Right.
Like you post something and disagree with somebody, or I speak against something that I don't agree with. You being emotional, like okay.
I was gonna bring that up in a second because I was opposed. As a matter of fact, me and my wife were sitting next to each other, and it was you on Bradley Martin's show, and Myron came up, Fresh and Fit, for anybody who's watching, the host of Fresh and Fit, and I obviously had seen you on the show a couple times, like, oh, you guys are cool, whatever. I don't know how the depth of the friendship, but you guys are cool. You make content, whatever. And then till you guys had a disagreement, that's what men do. You can disagree and just whatever. But then it sounded like he ended up blocking you and some other stuff. And I That's weird. Like, even if you disagree, like, you should be
Yeah.
able to just be like, well, we disagree. It is what it is. But the comments, me and my wife were looking, because we were just tripping, because we are like, everyone, oh, he's been emotional, and everyone was siding with Myron. And I was like, that's crazy.
But did you look at the race of all of those people?
Exactly.
Not
yeah,
one
yeah.
black person, right? So here's the thing. This is something that I noticed in 2020. I saw black content creators who wasn't really hitting like that, kind of like tethering over to like some anti-black type of rhetoric, and them getting a lot of burn, right? But I'm like, this is silly. Those people don't respect you. They're gonna use you,
Right.
Because it's cute for you to say it,
Right,
Because
exactly.
they can't say it, right?
Right.
So with Myron, let me say this. Like, me and Myron, we're cool. Like, I like him. Now, I didn't know the depths of the things that he talked about, right? So as time go on, you see more and more, and I'm like, I don't like that. And I've had conversations with him before, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, this is not, it's a little bit, you know what I'm saying, off color. And then part of me tried to rationalize it, chalking it up to like, you know what, this is entertaining. This is how they make money, so just let them do their thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they do their thing anyway. I have nothing to do with that. But, so I just never really paid attention. I don't watch their content like that, right? I mean, I've been on their show a few times, and a couple times I'm just like, I gotta go. Because it's like, I have nothing to contribute to these kind of conversations. It's not my thing.
Right.
So, I heard him making the comments about black women. Now, I've seen him being very adversarial with women all the time. I think that's kind of problematic, but maybe that's part of the act. I don't know. But when he started talking about black women to that degree, it's like, you talking to a white dude about, it's like, let's say we got problems at home. We deal with it at home. It's not for the white people to like look at them. They don't even like each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We fix it at home. Excuse me. And that's with any team, family, whatever, right? So you can have your issue. You don't have to be attracted to black women.
Right.
Nobody cares. I don't even know why that's a conversation.
Except Dog Dumar.
But I don't know why that's a
I guess, yeah.
conversation. Like, what race of women? What kind of question is that? What race of women do you find the most attractive or the ugliest?
Right.
Such a bizarre thing to talk about, right?
Right.
But nonetheless, I did message him, and this is what I say. Me and Brendan Carter, we was talking about it. That's a good brother of mine. I said, you know what? I should have dealt with that with more empathy as a friend, and told Myron, like, bro, maybe had a conversation, like, try to have some understanding, right? It's not like I flashed out or anything. I said what I said, and I stand by it. But I think that I don't want to be the person that push people into dark places. You know what I'm saying? To where people have to double down on their positions, even if it ain't the best position to be, because people are naturally going to be defensive, because everybody, they exist in this podcast space to where they got to be right. Everybody got to be right. And I think it's like, right to who?
Yeah.
Right. Who, right? So the things that I value is not like people's approval, like commenters, right? At all, right? Because those same people that was agreeing with him was in my inbox after one of their episodes where Academics was on, and me and Sneeko and everybody, and it was a big blowout. Their audience don't like me, but that for like 2 weeks they were DMing me, emailing me like, man, I love how you handled that. You know what I'm saying? So
so weird, man.
These people are just they're gonna flip on you. They're gonna love you. They're gonna hate you.
Right. So you just gotta be.
But see, look, I don't deal with that, right? These people make money off of these people. These people, that's their world. They come in to watch Fresh and Fit every day, or whomever, right? So you're dealing with a certain type of people, and they're crafting their little, the perception of these people. They want what they want these people to think, and these people are eating it up, and that's fine. I don't really care about any of that, right? But as I know him now. Let me clear this up. There was a post that I did that I just got back in town, and it really had nothing to do with him, but I did mention a little back and forth or whatever. It was nothing, no curse words, no profanity, no nothing.
Right.
and that post got taken down, and I got blocked from doing lives for 30
right?
days.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Did he do it? I don't know.
Right.
But it's how can that post get taken down?
Right.
It's weird, but it doesn't matter. Nonetheless, he's a smart dude. I think his viewpoints are they just I don't align with at all. I didn't know. It seems like he hates the color of his skin. He doesn't have high regards for black people, period. And he exalts white men. That's fine.
Right.
But that's not the type of person I want to stand next to.
Right.
That's not the type of person that I would call a brother. And everybody can do what they do. I don't care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying on that.
Yeah.
You know?
So what advice do you give to the young men that are maybe they have a friend like that, a friend that just has, complete just opposing viewpoints, or maybe they encounter somebody, at school or whatever, and so because
listen, if you don't talk to your brother and tell him that he out of pocket, you don't love him. You gonna let him crash like that? You gonna let him crash out? You ain't gonna say nothing? You a piece of shit. You don't really love this dude. If you see a person, if you're in counsel with somebody you could consider a friend, a brother, or whatever, and they're going down a road that doesn't look too good, and you don't say nothing, try to redirect, you're an interesting kind of friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you can't tell your friend like some real shit and they accept it, then fuck it. They're not your friend. You don't need to be around people like that.
Right.
As simple as that.
Right. So taking it back real quick, when you had said a second ago, before we got into the Myron stuff, you were talking about I'm highly emotional, but I just control it. Right. So I think that's an interesting statement alone. So what do you mean by you're emotional, and how did you get equip yourself with the skills to be able to control it? Because a lot of people out here, especially nowadays, just flying off the handle. You seeing people getting shot. They I
mean, just when you see people yelling at each other online, I'm like, you're not embarrassed?
Right.
The camera's on, you yelling?
Right.
I think that sounds crazy. It looks crazy, right? So, listen, if we're going back and forth and we're disagreeing and voices get louder and louder, that's silly. We're not listening to each other. We're not hearing each other. We're just making sounds. It's literally pointless. Like, look, we're going to fight? Stop talking and fight me then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What is all this yelling? It's literally pointless. So, I mean, I've never been one to be, you never see me acting like that. I've never done that in my entire life. Now, my emotions used to get the better of me when I was younger because I was hot-headed, right? I used to cry like every day when I was a kid. Something would make me that angry.
Yeah. Not
sad, it would be anger. You know
how old were you, around that time? When you...
9, 10.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I got into boxing to where that all calmed me down.
So that's what I was going to ask. So 11, boxing 12, was
12 years old.
Okay.
I didn't have that in me no more.
Yeah.
I dealt with it all in the gym.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to dust you off, so I don't even, you know what I'm saying? It's
like, deal with it in the ring, yeah.
Never been in, I've never been in a difficult street fight in my life. Facts. Ever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not proud of fighting. I think fighting is whack. It's barbaric. It's animalistic. But I've behaved like an animal before, and I'm not proud of that.
Right.
But, when you have that kind of confidence, you're not trying to fight people.
Right.
It's silly, right? So, especially you're not even worthy to fight. It's not even going to be a good fight. So, yeah. So, boxing kind of neutralizes all of that. Yeah. But also, getting in trouble neutralizes that too. You know what I'm saying? So I've been incarcerated, and for violent crimes, it's bad.
Right.
It's worse than drugs or stealing or whatever, right? The violent offenses is treated a lot worse. You're doing mostly all your time, right? And you're in there, and you're in gladiator school. Right. You're in there with with other violent offenders. So it just doesn't lead to anywhere good. Violence is not. Look, we have to have a degree of violence if we're men and protectors, of course, because there's other violent bad dudes out there. Right. But we gotta always control it, always keep it under wraps. You know what I'm saying? Right. And don't lead like that. Right. We gotta lead with understanding, with empathy, with love. That's stronger than any kind of other force or any energy. Love. Nothing more powerful than that.
Right. So I think about that. You and I have similar. We're similar in this regard, which is at a young age. It sounds like we were emotional, very emotional in the sense of like aggression would come out, a lot of fights. But then also, like you said, you get in trouble as well. I got I got expelled in junior high, and it was a whole thing. And we learned early on because of that. I think some of the guys we're seeing now, they haven't gotten in trouble like that yet, or maybe they just haven't gotten whooped on like that yet, where they haven't really been forced to change. And I don't want to throw the guy under the bus, but he's a mutual friend of ours, and you know him as well. But he was on camera whooping on this dude in the gym, right? And so
West Washington.
Yeah, I didn't want to use his name, but yeah. So you see the video. And when I see the video, I'm like, well, the dude's setting up his phone and he approaches Wes. I'm like, what do you think was going to happen? Right? That's the first thing. But I remember that the same thing Wes was doing, like when the dude was on all fours and he went up and kicked him. I remember why I got in so much trouble when I was in 8th grade was because I did the same thing. Maxed the dude out. He was on all fours trying to get his breath back, and freaking soccer kicked him, right? And that was the charge right there where I got in the most trouble. And so I see that sometimes where I see people that haven't, like they're going through certain things later on in life versus earlier on, and now you got way more to lose. And so I'm trying to teach these young men, like, I'm not saying to just go through early, like, get all your stuff out of the system, whatever, but I was grateful it happened earlier on, because a lot of these dudes, they don't have the emotional discipline to be in a situation like that, and just and even if you let go a little bit, you still got to control it, because when you just fly off the handle, anything can happen.
Well, I have to defer to what I said earlier. All's fair in war. Once it's on, right? I didn't research that, but I saw the clip online. I didn't see anything wrong with what Wes did. I thought he was defending himself. And look, how I see things, if it gets to the point to where it's violence, I'm gonna go all out, right? I'm gonna make sure that you don't want to ever think about doing that again. And you recording, so they're gonna see. I'm gonna make an example out of you,
right?
I think he did the right thing. To be honest, I'm all right with what Wes did, because he's minding his business.
Right. I don't disagree with it either.
The guy's trying to get clout.
Right.
You think, okay.
Right.
I'm going to make an example out of you.
Right.
Right. So listen, me a year ago, 2 years ago, I would pray for that to happen to me. So
that's not even long ago, only a year or two?
Yeah, I'm being honest. So I can make an example. Right. But nah, I've been, all this year I've been really big on rededicating myself to my faith, and just trying to be a better man, being a kinder, nicer person, employing empathy more and things like that. So, because listen, bro, I've been the guy that maybe I'm not loud and appearing to be aggressive, but I have my subtle ways of doing things, right? And when I was carrying on like that, it never felt good.
Right.
It's like, what is wrong with you?
Right.
Why are you bothering? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I never bother. I never start anything with anybody. It would be my reaction, how I react to people, right? And it would be calculated and a little too much, a bit much.
Yeah.
And it's not good. That's not in alignment with my highest self.
Right. Right.
That's not what I want my daughter to know of me, or my son.
Right.
So, I had to really check myself.
Yeah.
But listen, if I was in that situation, like what Wes was in, yeah, that guy's gonna be just asleep.
Right. And for the record, I don't disagree with what he did either. Yeah. I'm more so just thinking about, because I've been through that before, where a little blip in your the situation. But what I'm saying is, I'm trying to think, like, for the young man, like, okay, cool, I get it. When somebody approaches you, it's a wrap. All is fair in war. But in this situation, you're dealing with somebody who already has a record. He might, not saying he's gonna go back, but hypothetically, he could go back because whatever.
Nothing's gonna happen.
So, but I'm trying to think, like, how does
people gotta understand this too? A fight is just a misdemeanor assault. It's not. People think they might look at you, see you muscular, or you got money or whatever, and think, oh, I can sue. You could try.
Right.
It's a misdemeanor assault. It's a slap on the wrist. No one goes to jail for a fight. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's a fact. I know this. I've been through the system.
Right.
That's like the least, Now, battery, you hitting somebody with something and you started it, that's a little bit different. But a fight is a fight. It's a misdemeanor because people, they try to hide behind, they'll agitate somebody and then think they can threaten them with the cops.
Right.
But y'all should know, a fight is a misdemeanor assault. That is no jail time. Of course, technically you can get, I don't know, a month or something nobody goes to jail for fighting.
Right. And that's more so, because first of all, I didn't know all that. Like all I knew is my personal situation. When I was in 8th grade, I got a felony on my record because of that, and assault with that weapon because I hit him with whatever. Exactly.
But it didn't last.
Right? It got expunged when I was 18.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, like, how do these young men, like, practice
kicking somebody? If you kick somebody, if y'all are fighting and you kick them, you're not gonna get them felony. If y'all are fighting, in that situation with Wes, it's impossible for him to get a felony. He was not the aggressor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's Florida. It's a stand your ground state.
Yeah, that's true. It is Florida. It's different.
They be shooting people over that, over less than that.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And I think part of it too, and this is where it kind of taps into like the black experience. And I'm not the one. I get heat all the time on my content because they're like, well, they think I'm like anti-black because I'm not about the victim mentality. And I just talk about.
Why do they think you're anti-black?
Well, because I'll make content like I made in November. I made my first political video, and I was talking about how, man, 4 years ago, I wouldn't even wear a red hat because I didn't want to be associated with Trump. Like I was like super anti, because this is my clothing brand. I wouldn't even wear the red hat because I was like, nah, I don't want nobody from afar to see the red hat and be like, is that a MAGA hat? So I was explaining how I went so far from like, just hating this dude because of what I was told to fast forward, starting to read and actually watch not even just read things, but watch the actual clips at length that people were saying, he said this about Mexicans, he said this about this person, whatever. But then you clip the last part where, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I was explaining my story of like, okay, I used to feel like this, now I feel like this. And, a lot of black people are mad in the comments, it is what it is.
What do you feel like? Like, where did you land at?
I I was saying that I ended up voting for Trump. That was the whole... That was the topic of the video, right? And I just explained why. Like I explained why I was like, in 2020, I was like, it wasn't even that I voted for Kamala and Biden because I liked them. It was because I didn't like the other dude. So I went and I was like, that's weak. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a better argument than that. So anyways, this time I was like, well, this is why I like Trump and this is why I'm not voting for Kamala and Biden. And so I broke that down, and some black people, not all, of course, but some black people were upset because they're like, it's basically practicing self-hate. Like, how could you not vote for a black woman, whatever? And then I was like, well, that's a debate already alone, because I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
That's a silly thing. That's a silly argument. But, the Trump thing is like, here's the thing. Trump is problematic. I don't care what anybody say, right? The man he has, of course it wasn't criminal, but civil rape convictions, right? I got daughters, right? There's smoke, come on, bro. There's gotta be something to it, right? So it's like, he's not the type of man that I wanna follow, right? So people don't look critically at certain things, and then in California, this is like Trumpville. You know what I'm saying?
In California?
Yeah.
You think so?
It is. This is it used to be a blue state, but it's a red state.
Yeah, well, it definitely changed this last election. I said, damn, I didn't think it was even going to be like that.
It's not for like anything great that he's done. Well, it is something great that he's done. He's a great influencer. Yeah. And this is a popularity contest. Right. The president's. Right, that's all it is.
100%.
He's more likable. He's on the bigger podcasts, so on and so forth. Right. He says cool things, funny things. You can meme him. You know what I'm saying? So right. it's not, And then like for people who think, listen, the Democrat Party, Republican Party is two wings on one bird. They're all the same. They're a bunch of hustlers. They don't care about none of us. The Republicans, a lot of white people. The Democrats, a lot of black people. Trump is going to tell you everything you want to hear. All of the good things. Let's see what happens, though. He was in before.
Right.
He fumbled a lot of shit, right? But I'm not even gonna put it on him or Biden or them because their jobs are very complicated. You know what I'm saying? But here's the real thing. I'm gonna ask you this: why did you go public with who you voted for? I'm curious.
Well, first it was just about building personal brand. I was like, I'm an open book. I talk about all kinds of things. And so it was more so like nothing was, you know, I really don't, I mean, I'm sure there's got to be a topic that I wouldn't talk about, but I can't think about what that would be. So I just talk about everything.
So you're developing your personal brand. You're a leader. So people are going to follow you, right? Now, some people's understanding of things may not be on a level of yours, right?
Sure.
I'm apolitical. I don't have a side. But let's say I was of an opposing political side as you, right? But me and you could talk about it and not give a fuck, and it's all good.
Right.
But most people can't do that.
Right.
People are religiously tied to their political parties because of their families, right?
Yeah.
So what you're doing is alienating so many people off the rip. They're not even going to listen to you,
Right.
Because of that, right? So that's something that you should consider because I don't think that's important. And I'm going to tell you why. It's an even deeper reason. The federal government, I'm going to back it up. The construction of this country was kind of brilliant. Not kind of, was very brilliant.
Yeah.
The whole premise was for the early colonists to not be under British tyranny. You know what I'm saying? So the Constitution was constructed as such. This is 50 states with 50 governments. Every state has its own government. And then within the state, there's counties who have their own government. Within every county, there's cities with their own governments, right? That's what's important. That has impact on our lives. Where you live at, your school district, whoever is the chief of police or the sheriff, you know, so on and so forth. And we have direct influence over these people.
Right.
Financially or just support, right?
Right.
So we don't have any influence over the president unless we have hundreds of millions of dollars to lobby.
Right.
Because that's their daddy,
Right.
These local dudes, we're their daddies, right? And that has impact on our lives.
For sure.
100%. The federal government is like, oh, marijuana is illegal federally. Oh, but it's legal in California. Like, what?
Right. Right.
Okay, y'all, I ain't fucking with y'all.
Right.
It really, and it's sad when I see people like hating each other over presidential. Like, yo, these people don't give a fuck about y'all. They're not gonna say thank you.
Right.
They're not gonna do nothing for you. They're gonna lie. They're gonna tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
They're gonna show up on the shows that you like. You know what I'm saying? The Democrats been doing it to black people. And
Yeah.
Republicans doing it to white people. Because let's not get it twisted. This country is still segregated. It's a fact, right? Now, just so happened, like out in California, there's not a lot of black people. And then black people that live in black areas, they feel like it's a lot of black people.
Right.
If you look at the numbers, it's crazy. It's nothing.
It's not. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times we're being bombarded with things that are more beneficial to whites or more things that appease the sentiments of white people. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to be careful with and to be cognizant of. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but I just peep it out here. I'm like,
Right.
okay, that's what's up. All
Right.
right. But none of it bothers me because I could deal with people on an individual and human level.
Right.
I'm not a person that shouldn't be defined by their political affiliations unless they have a valid talk point that they're tethered to, and we could talk about that. But I think most people their political affiliations are not deeply rooted. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, bro, it really don't matter who's the president.
Yeah. I mean, you see people.
I'm going to explain how.
Yeah.
Look, they say that we had, like, when Trump lost last time, they said voter suppression, right? It says cheating. False. Cheating, yes, on both sides. 1 zillion, that's a fact, right? There's no voter suppression. You know what voter suppression looks like? It looks like Maduro in Venezuela winning by 80%, but only 20% of people that can vote voted.
Right.
That's voter suppression.
Right.
We've never had that in this country. Okay, both sides cheat. Both, like, whoever wins is by a razor thin margin each time. I mean, Trump just beat Kamala by a lot more this time because she's just so unlikable and he's so likable.
Sure.
But it's typically 2%, 3% either way. That's fair.
Right.
You could say, oh, but they're cheating. They both cheating.
Right.
They have to. Right. So that neutralizes itself out. There's no voter suppression. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, Trump would have won 2020 had he not shitted on mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
Bro, that's going to benefit you too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They like you. People like you. You had your people not doing it, shutting it down, and then look what happened.
Right.
So he got off of that. He really pivoted. Like, I watched him. See, I watch things from just a business perspective because he's a businessman. And politics is business. And I saw him crashing out 2020. I'm like, you fucking up. You just fumbled. You're fucking up, right? Yeah. But he fixed his whole persona. He fixed everything this go round. And he was more calculated, and he did a good job. And I salute that. I salute a winner, but not president, leader, none of that shit. I don't give a fuck.
Right, exactly.
I don't care who. Yeah. It doesn't affect me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It really doesn't affect me.
And I hear you talk about that a lot too, where you're like, it doesn't affect me. Like, I would create my own rules, my own everything. So, but going back to... you were saying, okay, why'd you talk about that? Because you're a leader, you're building your personal brand, right? Do you think there's anything that somebody should not go public with and talk about because they're in like a leadership kind of...
I think people should do what they feel is best for them. If I was giving guidance to somebody, I wouldn't talk about politics to that degree because first of all, I'm not a politician. I don't know the shit like that, right? Shit sound cool, but I don't know it to that level. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that invested in it. I'm not in politics. Right. Now there's people, influencers who are on the politics shit. They know that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't. And unless you knew it to that degree, I wouldn't really, because you don't know. Like, listen, bro, you can feel one way this week and then different next week, and then people will be like, oh, you flip-flop, you hypocrite, all of this shit. It's like, no, I changed my mind. I changed my opinion. But people can't deal with that. Right. You know what I mean? So it just causes unnecessary bullshit. And, you know, people just don't understand. And, like, fuck these politicians, though. That's the ultimate reason. I'm not promoting none of them. None of them I feel is righteous or worthy of my support, my public support. You feel me? Right. So, you know, I'm good. I'm Gucci. You know what I mean? And listen, like Trump, you know, Elon Musk has positioned himself well with Trump. I used to like Elon, bro. He's doing a lot of weird things. You know what I'm saying? And we could talk about this on another time, but it's a lot of things about Elon Musk that I'm like, wow, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and they're in alignment. And I think that Elon aligned himself with Trump. I would do the same thing. Right. If I had that kind of bread. You know what I'm saying? It's just all kind of problematic. Yeah. Not necessarily the best for people like us. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm not saying Kamala would have been any better. Sure. But I'm saying fuck all of them.
Yeah, we still talk facts though.
Yeah, fuck all of them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So so I guess we'll talk specifically to the young black guys watching this. What do we do then? Like, what's the solution?
This, though, what's good for black men is good for white men as well. You know what I'm saying?
Because listen, they benefit from our success as well. What do you mean?
We got a lot of issues in this country, right? And a lot of people they want to say like victim mentality, right? Just because a person is pointing out very obvious injustices doesn't mean that they're victim mentality. One who has a victim mentality is saying, I can't because woe is me, right? That's not the vibe. So but talking about like, hey, y'all owe us some money. Y'all owe us some reparations, baby. Like, where my bag at? That's not victim mentality. It's like, you pay me what you owe me. Right. Whoa, where the money come from? The same place where y'all sending Israel money. Same place where y'all sending, what is it? Russia's fighting Ukraine.
Yeah, Ukraine, yeah.
Same place y'all got that COVID money. Why y'all concerned about where it come from now when it come to us? Right. Think about this, bro. we were human trafficked, right? And they're gonna say, "Oh, it's your own people sold you." True indeed. Fuck them too. But slavery was well known around the world. But chattel slavery, what we experienced, was not. That was unique to us, right? Those slave traders there didn't know that, the blacks, right? Or if they did, still, fuck them.
Right.
Fuck anybody who had a part in that. But anyway, let's talk about what we went through. Because they be like, oh, it's so long ago. It's not. It's not.
Maybe like your grandpa.
We're within 100 years, 80, 60 years of Jim Crow.
Right. Right.
Right? So we didn't go through 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, 100 years, 400 years.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
4 centuries. You feel me?
Yeah.
America's not even, well, we're 400, you know, we got that kind of age now, but this is a fairly new country.
Right.
The majority of the existence of this nation, we were not considered humans. We were considered property, cattle.
Right.
Every black person that has a John, Jones, Williams name, you're wearing the name of the white people that owned you at some point, right? So that's problematic, right? Now, all right, the abolishment of slavery. We fought in the Civil War, right? We were promised land and transportation, 40 acres and a mule. All right, we helped y'all win. What's up? Where our shit at? Like, never mind. Actually, we need to give reparations to the slave owners who ain't got y'all no more.
It's crazy.
What?
Yeah, crazy.
What? Like, so, and then the next 100 years of like the Jim Crow, the Black Code, all of that shit. And look, people look at myself or yourself, people who are doing good for themselves and think that that's the reality of all black people. It's not, by far. And you cannot ignore the fact that so much institutionalized racism still affects us to this day, right? Let's say I'm Mike Rashid, and here's white Mike Rashid, right? And we both fucking hit the floor running, right? And we both make X amount of millions a year, right? He's still at an advantage because I'm still gotta take care of my family, my parents, my grandparents. You know, his parents set him up, house, all of that, right? We weren't even allowed to buy houses at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? We weren't allowed to go to schools, right? This is within, you know, my parents' lifetime. My father experienced some weird shit. My father's in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they be like, well, pull yourself, make better decisions. Like, that's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, okay. I will. We will. We
Right.
are.
Right.
But we got to fight through a lot, right? We start at a deficit. It is what it is. I'm not complaining. I'm stating facts. I actually think it gives us an advantage. Those of us who are able to get out, because it makes us stronger than our white counterparts who don't have that to dig out, right? So it's like, bro, I dug out of holes upon holes upon holes,
Right.
and put the whole family on my back, and I'm proud of that, right? But I wish it wasn't like that. Like, my kids is not gonna be like that, right? So, excuse me. What's good for black people is good for white people. Let me tell you why. The real issue in this country is not race, it's class, right? Now, it just so happened that we had been the most unprotected class for so long, right? Black people. So we were the poorest. We were the most downtrodden.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's white people in our same class as well. Way more poor white people than poor black people because there's more white people here in America. You know, you look at like crime, right? They say we commit a lot of crimes, right? We have a disproportionate ratio of blacks in prison system based on the population, right? So it's like, that's not because we're just worse criminals. Sometimes we get targeted for things, right? And more severe punishments. But let's just target the poverty situation. If a lot of us are poor and we are some kind of like reparations or stimulus or whatever to get us out of these situations, and I'm not just talking about money, I'm talking about education, I'm talking about access to things, that raises not just the morale of this country, but like literally everything. The biggest issues we have in this country is poverty. That's the biggest issues anywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if we're coming out of that, right? I mean, it'd just be a better place. And like, I don't see national unity here in America. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're talking about amongst black people? Or just you're saying in general, just Americans in general?
In general.
Right.
I see a weird, in general. People don't love it. I don't see people loving it like that.
Right.
I see like, I don't really see patriotism, because patriotism, you should be able to, a real patriot has ownership, right? And they feel like they got ownership, so they can criticize and all of these things, but you can't even do that nowadays.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know. It's just a weird time that we live in this country. It's very divided. It's never not been divided, right? And there's nothing happening to fix it, right? There's no real conversations happening across not political aisles, but racial aisles, right? That's just a uncomfortable conversation that white people don't want to have.
Right.
You know, no disrespect to them, but it's an uncomfortable truth. You don't want to be told about how your people did our people wrong. I get it, but we supposed to forget about it?
Right.
You know, I have friends who are Jewish that I love, right? But their stuff gets to get talked about a lot, but ours not. You know what I'm saying? So I was talking to a dude today, LAPD dude, and he was telling me that after the academy, at the end, they got to go through some kind of like process. So they go to these Jewish museums and learn about all that they went through and this and the third. I'm like,
that's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah, bro. He just told me that today.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's wild. It's interesting. America never did anything to Jews. They did a lot to us.
Right.
And not just they did a lot to us, we've done a lot to build this country.
Right.
Oh, forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just not cool.
Right.
And any, like my Jewish homie or my white homies, any of y'all that don't think, because a lot of them like, man, fuck that shit.
Right.
No. Because if it was your family or your people, I'd be like, nah, fuck that. That ain't cool. I'm going to stand with you. So, you know, but it's an uncomfortable truth, and people, they run away from that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So what does a young black man do? He might be watching this and feel like, man, that sounds like I feel hopeless. Like, what can I really do? Like, where do you draw the line between accountability and...
You're not hopeless. Here's the beautiful thing about being black. I don't know if y'all feel it here in this country, but you go anywhere in the world, people treat you like royalty. They're like, wow, black man from America, right? We are exotic around the world, and we are highly regarded. Here too, it's just like, it's little layers of like little
like hater, yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the level of creativity, intellect, athleticism, all of the things, right? Black men have it in an abundance, right? It's very concentrated. Think about it. We're what, 13, 14% of this country's population, but we export culture to the world. We are the culture, right? It is what it is. Music, science, everything. I mean, who's cooler than Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know some people are like, oh, that's not a rigorous scientist, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. But you know who he is,
guy.
though.
You know,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have, so these black men, young black men, there's nothing holding you back. The fact that there was some pressure pressed against you, you push against it and it makes you stronger, right? What does stress do? It makes us strong if you deal with it properly.
Right.
When we go to the gym and work out, we putting our bodies under stress and under tension. We do it, become powerful. Give me more. Make that shit heavier, right? So that's the same with, you know, social stresses, right? Economic stresses. Think better, work harder, right? We have to. Now, we have some outstanding issues that need to be addressed, like reparations. But in the meantime, that don't mean we sit back and just chill.
Right.
Fuck that. Let's get everything we can.
Right.
Because it's here for the taking, you know, in an abundance. And like, you know, we just got to be smart, man. I send this message to black men. You see what's happening with Diddy, right?
Right.
Very complicated situation. I'm going to tell you why. I'm not defending Diddy by any means. But Diddy, like, the notion that he's a human trafficker is preposterous, right? Now, the timeline of things is very interesting. He went to war with Diageo, the alcohol company that he was in bed with, which that's not the best kind of business, in my opinion, but whatever.
Right.
He beat them $100 million. Then they turned up on him. They funded Cassie's lawyer. They funded all of this stuff. All of this is happening because of that. Now, where he fucked up is right here. The man wasn't living a righteous life. This weird sexual shit that you into. Cuck. A cuck.
Right.
I didn't know black dudes did that. I thought they were the ones getting hired to.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you're a cuck.
Yeah.
You making so much money. You bizarre.
You gotta get
but
creative,
all of
I
that
guess.
shit, you have kinks in your armor, so you're easy to be attacked. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, we gotta look at it like this. Most powerful black men that had a certain stature and was like strong, they tried to pull down with sex stuff. Mike Tyson, Bill Cosby, Kobe, they tried it, like a lot of guys.
Right.
So black men, you gotta be tight. You can't be having chinks in your armor because at some point, when you become powerful and successful, you might get attacked, right? And if you're tight, if you're airtight, if you're a family man, if you live in a righteous life, you kind of bulletproof.
Right.
They can't really penetrate. Diddy had a lot of holes, so they got him.
It was
right?
easy. Yeah.
I don't know if they really got him or not. Who knows? But they're giving him the run for his money right now.
Right.
So we have to be aware, man. It's not, bro. You can't tell me. First of all, you got people like Jerry Seinfeld, who was a pedophile. Like he dated teenage girls. Y'all can Google it, right?
And most people don't even know that.
They don't know that, right? But anything a black dude do, it's magnifying glass, telescope. Look.
Right.
It's a certain hate that we get. That it is what it is. So I just want them to be aware of that.
Right.
Because it's there. So what I'm saying is you counterbalance that potential threat by living a good life. You know what I'm saying? Aligning yourself with something bigger than you. You know, when you become of age, have a family, you know what I mean? And dedicate your life to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And being, you know, the kind of content and information that you're going to do, like what you're doing. Make it useful, beneficial for people, something that they can learn from. And I don't want to make this a divisive thing with race, right? I love all people, and I hate all people. Like, it doesn't matter what you are, right? But I have, look, I know that a lot of shit that we have an uphill battle in this country. It is what it is. And for anybody to act like it's not, like they act like they think it's just normal now. It's like, nah, but it's not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We still here though. We still shining. We smiling. We look good. We becoming successful, but we got a lot. So the trajectory of this country right now, with the inequalities that exist that have never been fixed, is getting worse. Right. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not an economist or nothing like that, so I don't have those kind of answers.
Sure.
But I am aware that, these things have never been fixed.
Yeah.
So what the fuck they expect from us?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So what is a young man from, let's say, like, maybe 16 to 19, what should he be focusing on right now this year to better himself? Maybe he's in a situation where he's like, man, I'm tired of getting in trouble. Or maybe he just wants to be like, yo, I want to start making money. I want to better myself. What should he be focusing on? Because you can get distracted easily if you don't have a good game plan.
Don't focus on making money. Focus on being important and valuable to people. The more valuable you are, the more people will pay you, right? Whether that's helping people with a service or a product or whatever, the more important you are, the more you'll get paid, right? The more talented you are in whatever you do, right? So find a thing and just go all in at it. Be excellent at it. Spend all your waking hours studying, researching, practicing, whatever that is. Be great. And here's a tactic that I give my community. And, I talk to them every week, and I tell them the same things, some of the same things every week, and this one in particular. This is key. Whatever it is that you want your life to be, like this year, like right now. Write it down very vividly, not vague. Not, oh, I want to make more money, be in better shape. Like, no, how much money you want to make per month, per year, right? Where that money going to come from? You want to be in better shape? What does that mean? Body fat, how much you want to weigh, whatever, right? You want a better relationship with your brother, with your girlfriend, whatever, write all of that out. You want a car? What car? What year? What color? Write everything out vividly. And every morning, go through that list. After you go through that list, visualize it. Close your eyes and visualize it. Like literally think it, right? Make it real. The sounds, the sights, everything. I do this myself. Then boom, after you're done with that, you go on about your day, but you align your actions with everything that you wrote in that for your list. Mm-hmm. Everything you do, you align yourself with.
Yeah.
You understand? That is the blueprint to the life that you desire, right? Nothing great comes by accident.
Right.
You're not going to have this fantastic life just stumbling upon it, right? You have to be very intentional about it. When somebody's building a skyscraper, they think about it, starts right here, you write it down. And then they align their actions with that plan. You know what I'm saying? So we have to do the same thing. People don't think about that with their lives, but they should.
Right.
So young men, that's what y'all should be doing first and foremost, right? Coming up with a morning routine every morning. Get up and pray, meditate, hit the gym.
That's what I was going to ask you. So do you have a routine? You have a to-do list for the
Oh,
day?
Yeah. I have a routine.
Yeah.
Every morning. Every day. My days are is the same. Look, I get up early, Fajr prayer, my first prayer. And then I go through my list. I sit on the edge of my bed and I go through my list and I close my eyes and I'm just there. I'm there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then I hit the gym. Me and my son work out every morning. Most mornings. Sometimes we go at different times. Work out, cardio, sauna, shower, office. You know what I'm saying? Every day. Try my best to get out of there by like 6 so I could be home hang out with my daughter.
Right.
For about an hour of that, then I'm knocked out.
Right.
I'm in bed by 7:38. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I have a good tight life. Like I love my routine. And when you have a routine, you're so productive. You're not guessing, oh, what am I gonna do today? Like, nah, everything's planned out, mapped out. So, you know, that's just the best case scenario. And start young.
Right.
I started like as an adult.
Yeah.
Started young adult. You know what I mean? Take it serious. So my son is like that, you know, and I just love watching him. And, you know, I step back and watch him do his thing. And, you know, he's in alignment. So, and that's just what it's about. That's what it's about, man.
Word. I appreciate it, man. It's got to be, you know, it's got to be a blessing to see, because you said he's 19, right?
Yeah.
So to see him at this age where a young adult, and, you know, you kind of get to see the fruits of all, you know, the hard work, because it's not easy, you know, raising anybody. It's a lot of, it's difficult.
Work.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and you don't always get to see, like, is this really working? Is he hearing? Is he understanding the lessons? Is he soaking it in? And so it's got to be awesome to see that, you know, he's, you know, in the fitness like you are, and he's got a mindset like you, and you're like, I got to stay on point because, you know, I'm supposed to be leading him.
Yeah.
So like, that's awesome. And my little ones are obviously a lot younger than yours. But I can't wait.
Ranges?
So my oldest has just turned 5 2 weeks ago.
That's a fun age.
Yeah. So she's the oldest, and then her little sister is 2.5, and then my son is 1.
Okay.
So
the boy is the youngest. Okay.
Yeah. So on Christmas, actually, he stood up for the first time, and I was like, I don't even know why I'm feeling like emotional right now. I'm like watching, like, he stood up, and he was just looking at us, and he just looking around, and then he just sat back down. I was like, no, get back up. That was so cool. Like. It was just,
how old is he?
He's 1 year and 2 months now.
Okay, so he's walking late.
Yeah.
You know, the smarter you are, the later you walk.
For real.
Yeah, because it's more efficient to scoot and crawl.
Right.
No, that's a fact.
Right.
If they figure it out, like, well, why am I walking?
Yeah, like,
that shit's hard.
Yeah. The balance ain't right.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you're smart because you walk at 8 minutes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The smart kids, they take a little longer. They're like, this works.
Yeah. He's like, I'm cool with this. I'm going to hold on to that. Yeah.
Ain't it cool seeing your kids figure things out?
Yeah, it is. And maybe that's what it was too.
Yeah.
Just like seeing him like stand up, and he stood up because we were watching this. It wasn't the actual Thriller from Michael Jackson. It was like a kid's like freaking spoof or remix, whatever. And he was
Kids
getting
bop.
up, and he was
Yeah.
getting up, and he's kind of feeling it. And I was like,
That's
damn.
right.
And me and my wife were like, yo, this is crazy.
That's dope.
And it was just a cool moment, man. My mom
Yeah.
was there, and it was cool. But
That's beautiful.
it is a trip, like when you get
Yeah.
to see them figuring things out. You see like the wheels turning,
Yeah,
you know?
bro. That's amazing because their
Yeah.
brains, it's very malleable, but it's very capable, way more capable than ours.
Yeah.
'Cause it's taking so much input, right?
Right.
And it's changing so rapidly. So yeah, this is the time, man, to pour as much into them as possible. Little,
Most definitely.
talk to them a lot.
Yeah.
Read. I'm sure you're already doing the things. You're a good dude. So yeah, I love it. I love
Appreciate
being
it.
a father.
Yeah,
It's
right,
the dopest. You know what
right.
I'm saying?
So the last message before I let you go, man, is, you know, for the young men watching this, let's imagine you're talking to your son. Like, is there anything you tell him, you know, any kind of like advice you've given him, or a game you've given him, or rituals you taught him about, you know, that you think will be beneficial to the young man watching?
Yeah, prayer, train. All right, so prayer is important and meditation is important, but then prayer and action, that's doing the things. The things are like the gym, the studying, the sauna, all of the being honest, right? All of these things, man, it builds you up. It's real love for yourself. People say they love themselves, but they drink alcohol. It's like, that's poison. You're paying to poison yourself. You
Yeah.
really love yourself. So it's like, really love yourself. And love yourself ain't just saying, oh yeah, I love myself. Oh, are you working out? Are you getting to bed on time? Resting your body? Like all of the things, it matters. I know it seems tedious, but when you locked in with everything, it's not. It's normal.
Right.
You know. So like nothing, my routine is non-negotiable. And I do it before everybody's up. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday I was at the office by like 7:45.
Yeah.
I front load my day because that's when I have the most energy, and that's for me. You know what I'm saying? To do all of the things that keep me optimal. So do those things just, you know, because it's the foundation has to be set first. People should not. I don't want these cats like thinking money, right? Because here's the thing. That's just one little thing. And if you set your foundation up properly, the money's going to come to you.
Right.
You're going to get money, right? Life is about relationships. It's about integrity. And the most valuable asset that you will ever have is looking at yourself in the mirror at the end of the night and being happy with who you are, you know? And sometimes people will be so tethered to money, they got to lie to get it or act a certain way to get it or whatever, and they're just not that. People have fixed themselves up to be like, oh, no, I'm happy with this. They have to say that.
Right.
But we know deep down inside, you know what I'm saying? You can lie to us. You can't lie to yourself, right? But you can never properly love anybody if you don't properly love yourself. So stay on point, you know what I'm saying? Do all the things. Start with a morning routine and just don't.
And do it early.
Yeah, and write that list out.
There
the
we
list
go.
is important.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Cool. Mike, I appreciate you hopping on the show
Appreciate
again,
you.
man.
Yes, sir.
I had to have you come over here before you moved officially.
Yeah.
For y'all
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
know, maybe they saw the interview too. That's where I found out you going to
Did I say
Dubai,
it on
man.
there?
So yeah.
Okay,
That's how
yeah.
I found out. I was
Okay.
listening live. It was funny because when I was texting you, I was on YouTube on my TV,
Mm-hmm.
just listening to stuff in the background. I was looking for something to watch, and I saw you were live.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't actually you live, but like, you know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
broadcast, and I was like, oh, snap. So I clicked it. And then it was talking about you moving. I said, no, we got to do this like as soon as
Yeah.
possible. So
And look, and I rock with you. So, you know, my next week, like everything is busy. So I maneuvered so I can come and do this with
man,
you.
I appreciate it, man.
So,
It
yeah.
means so much, man,
Yeah.
because it means a lot to me, and I know that means it means a lot of people that are watching as well. It means a lot, man. You always come and kick some serious games, so I
bro.
appreciate you, man.
I know I ain't the most fun dude to talk to, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't all exciting.
But you need the wisdom, man.
But
You know,
I just, I'm at a certain point in my life, man, where the things that is important to me is they're not that exciting, but it's fulfilling, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So, and everybody got their journey to go through at their own pace and their own timeline. But just know that at the end of the day, it's the integrity, it's family, it's things of that nature that's going to serve you the best.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Word, that's real.
Yeah.
Well, anything I can do, man, to support you further in your mission or
Same,
in
bro.
just the movement,
Yes,
I appreciate it, just like you've been doing the same for me. I just want to be an asset. So I appreciate you
Likewise,
coming
man.
out. Yeah,
And I
thanks.
salute you and Bedros. Give Bedros
Thank you.
my love. That's my
Absolutely,
brother.
man.
That's
I'm
my
definitely
guy.
going to do that for sure.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So for the very few of you who are watching this and you don't know who this man is,
This viral.
yeah,
This
exactly.
Viral. You got to speak it into existence.
There we go, man. There we
Yeah.
go. If you don't follow him already, at Mike Rashid on all platforms, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time.